Okay, so this is how you perform a subdue boost. So currently, I'm on my video of Death is Served, which I performed subdue boost on. It's in Dubai. So this basically there are two different types of subdue boosts out here. Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do the one which gets you upwards. This one can clips you through walls and can go high, really high, or not as high, depending on how close you are to the NPC. So subdue boosts basically work by having Agent 47 covering against the wall, like these ones, for example, and then go moving to the opposite direction of where the NPC is. Like press for me for this wall right here. She's gonna be right. The NPC is gonna be right here. So I'm gonna press A on my keyboard to turn engine 47 to the left. When I turn to the left at a certain timing, I press Q, which is my subdue button, and with this, it clips 47 through this build through this box right here, and it launches them upwards through floors. It's by far one of the coolest tricks in the game, and it's a really crazy glitch. I think it looks really, really cool on like fast runs and clean runs like this. Um, so basically, to set it up, you want to distract an NPC up to one of these crates like this. You gotta make sure that this crate doesn't have any walls behind it, and also is that this crate is on an angle. If it's not on an angle, it's still possible, but the chances of you pulling this off will be much lower. So basically, you want to distract an NPC up to this here, and then for this run, obviously grab the soda can. It doesn't really matter for this one, but for what you would have, you distract the NPC. They would walk over here next to the crate. You want to hug yourself to this wall, and then as they're walking across, you want to wait for when the subdue button shows up. Right here, the subdue button shows up, right, and then I turn to the other direction. I turn to the left, and then I turn to the left first, then I press Q for subdue, so you can see here, and I'm turning to the other direction, and then as it shows up, I'm going to press Q, which launches me upwards, and then this sends me up all the way up here. This obviously can have a lot of issues with consistency, because not every single time it'll work properly, and sometimes you can get Agent 47 clipped inside the crate here, container or stack of items here that he's hiding against, and not actually upwards. Um, but yeah, I think this is actually pretty like this sort of thing is like you pull it off once, and then afterwards you sort of get used to the timing of everything. For me, I just sort of wait for when the subdue prompt actually shows up, and then when she's at like a good distance away from me, and then I turn to the right. Around when Wage 47 is like basically like his head isn't pointing towards too much to the left or to the right, more towards the center, I would press Q, and then it would basically launch me up. Really easy way for you to practice subdue boost is in Paris. So with Paris, there is if you start in the attic and you take one distraction shot at a metal bucket, which I'm going to show up somewhere on the screen with editing, um, and then one of the guards will walk over to the metal uh, bucket, and then you want to hide behind. You want to cover against one of the wooden crates there, which are again on a tilt on an angle. And then as he walks up, you want to perform the subdue boost here. So basically, I would say give it like a half a second delay between. So you want to press for that Paris one. You want, instead of pressing A and then Q, which is choking, I press D then Q because I turn the other direction because the guard is on my left, so I have to turn right. So I press D and then Q. Around about there's a half a second. You have to wait about half a second before you choke him. But if you watch subdue boosts over and over again, and then you like slow it down or whatever, and then you sort of like look at it, and then you look at the visual cues of when 47 is like where his body is moved when you turn the other direction, you sort of are able to tell when you press Q, and basically this ends up you launching through here. And obviously this is obviously one of a lower subdue boost. There are other subdue boosts out there which send you up extremely high, about the same height as hyper boost, and yeah, it's probably. And also another question that I'll probably get asked is this more consistent than hyper boost, and which one would be better? And to the first question, subdue boosts and hyper boosts are roughly the same depending on where you are. Subdue boosts can be more consistent in Paris when I'm at the attic and I'm doing that one subdue boost over and over again. But if I'm doing hyper boosts in like Paris, right? In Paris or other maps, right? They might not be as consistent. Hyper boosts are a much more different idea here, where instead of having you clip through the wall you're hiding against and launching you up, this one basically uses off violin particles. But that's another video for another day. And also, which one would be better is also another question that I probably would get. And to be very honest with you, both of them are just as good. Subdue boosts are quite specific, as in you would have, if you want to get up like hyper boosts without taking stairs or anything or elevator shafts, and you want to get there really quickly, you have to have a pretty niche situation where you would have to set it up where the NPC obviously doesn't get seen getting choked, because that would spot you if you're going for green runs. You would probably look for a good placement of areas where you can hide behind, so there's slightly tilted and it's more easier to pull off like that. But for hyper boosts, on the other hand, more like they require inventory slots. Subdue boosts don't require any of inventory slots, and all they require is a way of distracting an NPC, or not even distracting an NPC, over to the spot where you need. Subdue boosts require violin and breaching charge, which is obviously 2 inventory slots out of your maximum of 3, because you can stash one as well. You can stash an item, so it does leave that sort of problem here. Subdue boosts as well can go higher, or about equally as high as hyper boost can go, but I'm pretty sure that hyper boost can get even higher than subdue boost. So there is a small height difference here between the two. Other than that, both of them incredibly cool to pull off, and definitely is like something that, like, if you want to use in runs, a little bit more niche. This one, I just got lucky here finding this subdue boost spot here to be able to pull off like quite consistently. But yeah, both of them gets you up extremely high, gives you height, which is a huge advantage when it comes to like lots of contracts that have like a bunch of free targets, basically no one around them, and all it takes is just shots that you need from taking up from a really high spot, a high vantage point. This is what it's good for. But yeah, again, also as well, something as a hyper boost can get you into out of bounds areas, as in boosting you up a floor. But for subdue boost, you go right through the floor. So yeah, the two are like, very similar, consistency about the same, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.